I'm convinced that TikTok is trying to obliterate our brain cells one by one, and I am on a mission to try and recuperate those brain cells. Hi everyone, welcome back to The World According to China. I hope you're enjoying your morning, your afternoon, your evening, wherever you are in the world. Today I want to talk about a TikTok challenge that has just gone viral. It is called the Fufuchallenge, and many of you have probably already heard about it if you use TikTok or even if you use Twitter. If you haven't, well, you are very blessed, and I'm about to ruin that because I'll just tell you what it is. It is just a bunch of people who never tried fufu or egusi before, and they go out, they buy it, and they record their reactions to it. Some people have very obnoxious reactions and other people enjoy it. It is said that one of the main people who started it is a TikToker named Keith Atowo. He has a lot of videos where he sits down and he just kind of mukbangs different African foods. His style of videos kind of started this trend, but he didn't intend for it to go viral. For those of you who aren't already familiar with what fufu is, it's a doughy food that usually is eaten with different types of food. Can be soup, can be egusi, and you basically make it by mixing cassava flour with hot water, and it can be made in the microwave or on the stove. And now, who eats it? The main groups of people who eat it are West Africans, so that includes Ghanaians, Nigerians, Liberians, Togolese, Congolese, and the list goes on. But I'll just insert a map here so that you can see. Wikipedia actually taught me something new in that I learned that Caribbeans also eat it, which if you think about it makes sense because the Caribbean is kind of just like Africa but in the form of a bunch of islands. Okay, so let's talk about the challenge now. There's a lot of different types of videos in this hashtag, but I'm just going to split them up into two categories. The first category being the type where someone goes and buys this fufu, eats it, records a reaction. The reaction is either one where they're just like, okay, you know, they're just trying it out, or they think it's good. The second type, which is the one that has gotten the most criticism, and I have to join in on that criticism, is where people do the same thing. They go out, get food, they record themselves reacting, but their reactions are obnoxious, childish, just completely ridiculous and out of proportion for what it is that they're actually doing, as opposed to the first type of reaction that's more composed. In this type of video, some people are saying ew, some people are spitting the food out, which I don't have to tell you is completely disrespectful to other cultures' food. But the energy that this challenge gives is very, I only order chicken nuggets and french fries when I go on vacation to another country, because like, let me paint the picture for you. People are placing orders, driving to their local African food store, then driving home, setting up their table, setting up the platter, setting up their tripod, of course, opening up TikTok to record themselves spitting out food that they just spent good US currency to buy. My issue is, why is this so strategically planned out? You know, a lot of the people taking part in this challenge are adults. I just think they should be more worried about this current tax season than this TikTok challenge, but that's just me. Now I want to discuss the first general issue of this challenge, and that is the way that it employs the Western gaze. Now, if you're lost, don't worry. I'm about to catch you up to speed. I got you. This tweet from Stephanie Yaboa really sums up one of my main concerns with this challenge, and it inspired me to play a little game of word association, because she's right. It's not a challenge, it's food that people eat. It's a part of many cultures' cuisines. Round one. When I say cinnamon challenge, what do you think of? I'll give you some time. So you might have answered, you think of cinnamon, kids choking on cinnamon, and you also probably think of the general time period of the late 2010s. All right, round two. When I say the savage challenge, what do you think of? Alright, I'm sure you probably think of Megan Thee Stallion, TikTok dances, and you might have even said summer 2020. Okay, so what is the common theme between both of those answers? The aspect of time. That's the issue, is when you call a staple food in a traditional dish a challenge, you're basically freezing it in time in a way, taking out all of the historical and even societal implications of that food for many people. When I first heard of this challenge, I was kind of taken aback because fufu is something that I've literally been exposed to my entire life. So hearing people talk about it in this way kind of confused me. It's like saying rice is a trend or a challenge. That's how silly it sounds. Making it a challenge, it automatically is made to be viewed on social media. And once it goes viral, it's kind of like social media has the ability to set the narrative on it. So when people make those videos and their reaction is they spit it out and they say ew, they're contributing to a narrative that African food is not good, is less than. This contributes to the idea that Africans are less civilized or less of people in some way, and you're already seeing why it's so harmful. On the other hand, people who had reactions that were more respectful, I want to address how that too can be harmful, because you get into the territory where those people are also making a narrative and they're the ones validating whether African food is good or not. And it's like, okay, but for those of us who have been eating it our whole lives, like, I could have told you that. What I mean by the Western gaze is that a lot of the people who have contributed to this challenge's virality are American. A big Western country like America getting to define what is and what isn't valid in terms of cuisine just rubs me the wrong way. And a lot of these people, like I said, are trying it for the first time, so it gives the vibe of, I have just discovered this crazy exotic food. No, you haven't. You just tried it for the first time in your life. That would be like me in high school when I first tried pad see ew, saying that I discovered pad see ew. And I have nothing against people trying foods from different cultures. I think it's great because it's a good way to find things that you like that you might not have been really exposed to yet. And one of the things that really blows my mind about this challenge is the way that a lot of Black Americans are participating, and a lot of them are having those really disrespectful reactions. And it's just like, you realize that like your ancestors were definitely eating this. I just wanted to make sure you knew that. This is just as much of your history and heritage as it is mine. And what's even more sad is the fact that Black Americans, out of everyone, should and do understand what it's like to be excluded or discriminated against for things like what we eat, how we talk. It's just kind of disappointing. But of course, that doesn't mean I'm letting the non-Black people off the hook, because honestly, I'm side-eyeing them even harder. It's like, your lane is here and you're in oncoming traffic driving 30 miles over the speed limit. Now I want to get into the second kind of like overarching theme of this trend, which is xenophobia. Both parts of this word come from Greek, and the xeno part comes from the Greek word xenos, which is a guest, a stranger, a foreigner, or, get this, someone who is entitled to hospitality. Oh, the irony. The second part of the word, phobia, is a very common suffix tacked onto the end of words, and it suggests a fear or aversion to whatever the beginning of the word is. So someone who is xenophobic then has a hatred or aversion towards foreigners or anything foreign. And let's just think about the fact that for so long Africans have been viewed as subhuman, primitive, cultureless. And like I said before, challenges like these do a lot to continue those narratives, because making a food a challenge is almost like saying, this is so different that it now requires me to challenge myself in order to eat it. When have you ever heard of someone saying, pasta challenge? Yeah, no one says that because everyone has accepted pasta as normal. And I'm not saying normalize African food is already normal to me, but just notice that difference. Think of all those stories that people tell about them bringing one of like the traditional dishes of their culture to school for lunch and getting made fun of for how it looks, how it smells. Now you're saying, well, China, isn't it good that these businesses are getting business from this challenge? Well, in fact, that's a good point, because even the, I guess, accidental creator of the challenge said the same thing, that this challenge brings light to the cuisine and helps businesses out in a time where a lot of small businesses are struggling. Honestly, I support that. I think it's good if the people who own these stores and restaurants are profiting more and thus able to live comfortably. But at the same time, Africans have been patronizing these businesses for a very long time. I will say, if I were a business owner, I don't know that I would want my clients to be the type to only buy my food for a challenge and then record themselves spitting it out in a viral hashtag. I feel like it's not a good look. That's just me. But honestly, the logic of the internet is very different these days because somehow people are seeing other people spit out of food and still going to buy it. And another positive note of this challenge is that I'm sure a lot of people found a new favorite food in doing this and maybe even are willing to try more new things in general, and that's a pretty good thing. I don't want you to take away from this video that I don't want anyone to eat any food from a place that they don't come from. That's completely not it. In fact, my family, we love forcing our friends to try different African dishes, and we love seeing the look on their face when they realize they just found their new favorite food. TikTok is kind of a questionable medium, I guess, for this because there's always an aspect of performance. And I think that there are many ways to celebrate different cultures without being performative. If you want to try new cuisines, I am all for it. I support you. You probably won't like everything that you find, but the fact that you tried and gave it a chance says a lot. That concludes this video. Maybe I said things you were already thinking, maybe I didn't. Let me know in the comments. Please subscribe and turn the notifications bell on because I have a lot of exciting videos coming soon. You know, just help me help you. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.